Hello guys, welcome back to Chaos TV. You are joining us for the second game of Binary Evasion against SKL8. If you did just join us and you didn't catch that first game, don't worry, you can visit us on YouTube for the video on demand. That's youtube.com/chaos contingency. And sorry, I got really weird stream problem there where for some reason like the volume went full. That was really strange. But yeah, I met this and I'm joined by Enzy. In that first game it did go to Binary Evasion and fairly comfortably in the end, Enzy. It was very close up until about the 20-25 minute mark. Then after a couple of team fights and the Baron, of course, Binary Evasion just pushed that one home really strongly.
Yeah, I just think it was a team basically based around Graves. I mean, they had such a good team composition. By the time Graves got fed, the other team couldn't even focus Graves, and even if Graves got tipped down, obviously the Yorick ult was there as well if needed. But obviously it wasn't needed because he survived every single team fight that from the start I think Graves did. He didn't die a single time. I think he went about 12-0, and obviously they did win from the surrender from SKL8. So it's going to be interesting to see if BEV go for a similar kind of lineup. They try and base it around one champion. They might have not even expected that, they might have just took that comp and then, they thought, look, Graves is fed, why not do everything to protect him?
Yeah, indeed. I think at the end of the day, Graves was on, I don't even know if he died that entire game. I don't think he did. I think he was on something like 12-0 at the end there. And of course with that Leona, I mean, Leona is one of those champions that isn't necessarily used very much as support, but on that basis that we saw there, I mean, why the hell not? She has such a great ultimate, she can really set up those ganks nicely with Zenith Blade and a stun on top of that, and she's just one of those champions that is a real thorn in your side. And we saw that with Mundo coming down. Of course, one of the downsides of Mundo is he's not necessarily one of the greatest gankers out there. Of course, if he does land a cleaver, he can slow people down, and of course that can pick up kills. But he definitely doesn't have the kind of gank ability of a Rammus or a Maokai or somebody like that. So having Zenith Blade there on Leona and Graves as well, we saw he got first blood and the second kill as well at bot lane. So really great play from them too. I think definitely Graves got the MVP award, but it's important to note that he had great support there with his team as well, especially when you have a Karthus to pick up everything. If you have a few stragglers running away that he did a few times, I think he got a couple double kills in that matchup. And but yeah, Graves is way too strong. At one stage I think you said, Enzy, that he was like a full Infinity Edge ahead of Caitlyn, so it just goes to show how strong he was getting there between the kind of early and mid game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a Phantom Dancer, I think, ahead, and by the time Graves had 6 kills, Caitlyn was on 0-3. But enough about that team and that game. Let's go straight into this one. We're already in the picks and bans. We've seen an Alistar ban right off the bat. Alistar ban, and Alistar pick right off the bat. We did see him banned the previous map, or the previous round, so they took advantage. They thought, okay, let's pick Alistar. Obviously he can go support or he can go in the jungle role, completely up to him. And on the opposite side we have seen a Vlad and a Shyvana pick.
And that is absolutely lovely because I cannot see anything. Basically I don't know what's going on here, but I'm still in the lobby. I still only see 8 players, so I don't see anything right now. This is one of the beauties of League of Legends, basically, that it does crash and bug quite a lot, as we've already seen tonight. So I'm going to try and do my best to sort this one out, but I think it may be a case that we need to remake here. After, of course, I've done the pick and bans and all that kind of jazz.
Obviously that'll be on Bast. Contact them on LOL.
Well, this is a nightmare. This is one of the only downsides about casting League of Legends, is there are a lot of bugs just in the lobby and the picks and bans. Obviously we have already seen, what is it, 3 players or so leaving, which obviously isn't them, manually leaving, that's just a bug. And this is one of the downsides of that. So I can't really say too much on the picks and bans, Enzy, because I cannot see a thing.
Yeah, I think I'd just take that bit away. As one sec. Sorry, I had a freight thing. Don't know what it was, but I'll carry on now. But we have seen a Vayne pick come out. Obviously a very strong AD carry. If she can get fed early game, she's just a hyper carry for late game, and she practically cannot be stopped. Obviously she has that condemn, which is great for bot lane. If they're just camping in the bush, knock them against that wall, stun them a bit, and it's basically a GG there. And on the opposite side we have seen an Urgot pick and a Taric. Don't see Urgot played all that often. Well, I don't anyway. I do know Urgot is a very strong champion indeed, but haven't really seen much of him in the tournament. As on the opposite side, we have seen a Galio and a Wukong pick. Obviously, Galio is great for that ultimate, probably going to be going towards the mid-row, as we have seen a Udyr pick and a Wukong pick. Obviously, Udyr is probably going to go into the jungle, Alistair support now. You can have a support Galio, but that was some time ago. I mean, I don't really see him anymore as a support role. It's kind of just a mid-role now. Wukong's probably going to go top. But yeah, strong stuff.
Yeah, I mean, just walking back onto the Urgot, I mean, Noxian Corrosive Charge and the Acid Hunter does absolutely phenomenal damage. I mean, and the range is huge as well, so you can really pressure out the laning kind of phase there. And Urgot can really get the huge creep score advantage, and of course with his ultimate as well, it enables him to pick off one of the enemy characters that maybe is fed or kind of vulnerable, and just basically completely crush them, can switch them of course with his own position. And if used right, Urgot is a real danger. But yeah, we are just going to be waiting, guys. I can't really commentate too much on what else is happening, Enzy, so take it away, dude, if you could. They're going to
yeah,
okay.
The last pick on, I think it's the BEV side, I'm not completely sure, is a Cassiopeia pick. Obviously, she is a great mid-champion. Obviously, you got Petrifying Gaze as her ultimate, which is just so useful in team fights as long as she can land it correctly. And even if she doesn't land it correctly, even if the back's facing, there's still a fair bit amount of damage, and they're slow as well. But it looks like she's actually going to pick to Ziggs.
Sorry guys, Bass just talking to us, you can't hear him. He's asking if I'm in the lobby, and the answer is no, I don't see anything right now, so I'm not sure what's going on. I did relog though, so maybe that's one of the reasons. I'll have a quick check down the player list. The games list, sorry. Is it just the same one, Bass, yeah?
Seems legit, bros. Which is much better, so they just basically eliminate the ban and picks kind of thing. They just pick straight off the bat, then they ready up, and then boom, we're in it. So nice stuff.
Yeah, of course, a big thanks to these guys for re-inviting us and such. They didn't have to, they weren't obligated to, but it's very kind of them because unfortunately I did bug out. So I don't actually remember who was being picked. Do you remember any of these champions, Enzy? I mean, I remember you saying...
Vayne was picked, Alistair was picked for one side. Oh my god, you really tested my memory here, Vince. Galio, Ziggs, that was on the other side, Bass. God, don't confuse me. Galio, okay, so I've said Galio, Udyr, Vayne, Alistair, there's one... Wukong. I'm so good at this game. Well, not the game, but...
The memory game.
Yeah,
I do remember the only
game.
character I actually remember you saying is Cassiopeia, that's it.
No, she got changed to Ziggs.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Marvelous.
You're clever, aren't you? This is a perfect time where I can just land a Lee Sin ultimate on you. This is the perfect time. But yeah, hopefully we can get straight up into this game. Apologies guys, of course, it's just lol bugging out a bit. They've just had to go through a remake. They're not going to go through the banning stage, they're going to go straight into the game, so we shouldn't have too much of a delay. Maybe just giving them the message about the laptop again, Vince?
Yeah, STV have just brought out a new website, a new revamped website, so if you do want to go ahead and support us for all your streaming, that is chaostv.nl, and you can also bag yourself an epic gaming laptop there if you do scroll down towards the bottom of the page in the prize draw section. So it costs you absolutely nothing, and you could be walking away with an epic gaming laptop courtesy of chaostv. chaostv.nl. The link once again. But I think we're going to be ready to go live into this pretty shortly, Enzy. All the players are already in the lobby now. There we go. We are into the champion picks. And indeed, they are going to be all the same. So you're going to have for binary evasion, of course. If you did see the first game, they're also going to be reversed. Now you're going to have binary evasion on the blue team and SKL8 on the purple team. You're going to see Alistair, Udyr, Vayne, Galio and Wukong coming out for binary evasion. And for the purple team, for SKL8 it's going to be Vladimir, Ziggs, Tarek, Urgot and Shyvana. So two pretty strong lineups here, Andy, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just. Wait, what was I about to say? I'm just a bit confused. I'm not really sure where Alistair's going to go. I can only guess he's going to be support unless Gally goes. Yeah, he's going to go support. He's going to take the flash and the exhaust instead of the flash and the CV. But Galio, a great pick. I mean, they go in double AP on the other side. Galio counters basically all mid champions. Obviously builds off a magic resist, and on top of that can deal great damage from building off that. And you know, if he builds the likes of the Abyssal Scepter and maybe a Rabadon's Cap here and there, then Galio is very strong, and his ultimate, of course, is very good. And I'm not completely sure if there's any of the other team can really interrupt that, except for maybe Tarek's stun and Urgot's ult.
Shyvana as well could push back, of course, with
Oh
her
yeah.
dragon form, but you know, it's still not really that easily countered, is Galio, especially in mid. I mean, I'm looking at Ziggs and I'm thinking he does nice damage with his ulti, but the first 6 to 10 levels, I don't see him taking Galio down anytime soon, unless Shyvana really harasses mid lot. And of course, one of the downsides about Shyvana is she has no stun, she has no CC, so to speak of. So really, Galio should be getting away scot-free in mid, should easily be hitting level 6. I can see him getting farmed quite a lot against the Ziggs, and I think as the game goes on, this could be a real thorn in the side of SKL8. Remember, they did lose the first game, so they really need to pick up this one.
Yeah. Is it SKL8 on the right and then BEV on the left? I think it is, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, they just haven't got tags. It makes it very confusing. And someone has an ISIS tag, so maybe he's a merc. I don't know, but who knows?
Indeed, it's going to be a binary evasion on the blue team, and as you said before, escalate on the purple team. So a complete role reversal as you used to on League of Legends. This is game number 2 out of a potential 3. But as I said before, if it is going to go into a third game, Escalate simply have to pick this one up. Otherwise, they will be out of the Corsair Vengeance Cup. We are Chaos TV, and we're going to take a very quick commercial break. We'll wait for this 2-minute delay to come and go. Do not go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back after these. Hello guys, welcome back to Chaos TV. In typical League of Legends form, unfortunately Bass was kicked out of the game. Well, not kicked like physically from somebody, but the game booted him out. Some obviously bugs have came into play once again, which is the 4th or 5th victim now of that. So I'm not entirely sure where we stand because the two teams did load into game. They're currently actually in game as I'm talking. I don't know if they're going to quit out and remake this or if they're going to carry on playing regardless. We can only apologise for this. It's completely out of our hands. League of Legends is renowned for being very buggy at times, and this is just one of those occasions. So I don't really know what to make of this, Bass. Have you had any replies? Have they said they were going to remake for you? Okay, so it would appear that we could be remaking again. Pillar Killer, who is one of the Binary Evasion players, has also dropped out. So it is possible that we could be remaking again and going back into this game again. Fingers crossed. It would be horrible to miss this second matchup because the first was so good, Enzi. I think you'd agree. Definitely one of the better games that we've casted in CVC.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it came down just to the wire. I mean, until them two team fights went off, it was very hard to see, and Graves just kind of got fed and just kind of took it away after there. But yeah, it was very close indeed. I think it took about 15 minutes for First Blood to be drawn. So I'm really excited to come into this second round, second map, second game. I always get confused. Yeah, I can't say any more.
Yes, because we're FS casters, man. We're used to there being different maps, but
Yeah,
of course League of
indeed.
Legends is one map, pretty much. You
Absolutely.
have different variants of it, obviously in winter or summer or whatever, but it is effectively the same map, and we have got some re-invites here. Bass, have you received that yet? Okay, sweet. Snap remade, guys, so you won't be missing this second game, fortunately, but the only downside of that is we're going to have the 3-minute delay again, which I absolutely detest waiting for. But what can you do about that, is Bass? I swear you sound like a ghost there or something, Bass. I don't know if that was
Bass, were you a
intentional.
cheerleader, by the way? Like, woohoo, yeah!
Yeah, but apologies for this, guys. I know it must be very frustrating to watch this at home, but at the end of the day, it's literally, believe us when we say it's just as frustrating for us, if not more.
And quickly back to the FPS side of things, Vince. It's just been announced that tomorrow we do have Western Wolves against the Nexus for the Esports Seasonic Challenge semi-finals tomorrow. So if you're a COD 4 fan, then stick around for tomorrow. And also before that, we have TSM playing up against, who is it, Bass? CG. So we've got TSM against CG, and then straight after that we'll be rolling into some COD 4 with Western Wolves and a Nexus. So a great night tomorrow.
That is a massive old game, that one. And a big
Indeed.
COD 4 game as well. I mean, we get asked a lot, Enzi, when's your next COD 4 match coming up? And to be honest, we don't really know, because League of Legends, of course, as you can see tonight, is riddled with delays, riddled with us being told about games at the last possible second. But obviously, we do have that game, a huge game tomorrow. And it's a bit of a grudge match, actually, between Western Wolves and the Nexus, because there's a lot of cheating accusations being thrown around, on Tech9 in particular, which is... From a sportsman viewpoint, I don't really like very much Enzi. I don't know what your take on it is, but I never like to see two top teams who are very much in the public eye in regards to Call of Duty 4 just absolutely slating each other and getting really personal like that.
I've never got it, but you know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. If they want to throw around cheat accusations, then obviously they're free to do it. But personally, I don't think they cheat, and I think they would have been caught by now if they did.
Yeah, I mean, how many lands have they been to? I mean, I know you can hack
I think
on land.
they've won about 9 lands.
Yeah, I think you can hack land. I think it is probably possible from some of the stories that I've heard. But are you telling me that all the people that have been spectating an Nexus throughout those land victories have not noticed anything? Surely they'd have noticed something if something was dodgy. So it's a bit for me. But back into League of Legends, we currently have 6 out of the 10 players connected. So fingers crossed that is going to be filled up very shortly. I think we've done one game, Enzi, in nearly 2 hours now. Like, we had huge delays. Massive delay so far.
I just don't know what to make of it. This is blasphemy. It's crazy. It's madness! It doesn't matter if it's madness.
It is very frustrating because obviously I'll go back to what we said before. We were going to cover the Western Wolves X-Pulse game. That was penciled in for 6 GMT or of course 7 or 1900 depending on what kind of clock system you work on in Central European time. But unfortunately X-Pulse didn't show up, so then we quickly jumped across to this game, and lo and behold this game has had huge delays as well. So awesome self-high five right there.
You high-five yourself? I thought that was sad. I'm sorry Vincent hit me.
That's what it's come down to, dude. Self-high-fiving.
Dude, you're still jealous that I had Pikachu in my Pokemon collection and you didn't.
Gutted. Absolutely gutted. They're going to remake again, guys. I love this game.
So, Powerpuff Girls, Vince.
I never watched that program, I'm going to be honest with you.
The theme song's pretty good there, right? Hmm?
I'll take your word for it. Yeah. I think Dexter's Lab was probably the best theme tune to any,
Oh,
in fact, no, I take that back.
Rugrats.
Inspector Gadget was. Inspector Gadget was amazing. Yeah, Bass knows it. You were old school. He's singing away, we can't hear him. Then of course you had the claw.
Alright.
Okay guys, just been updated from Mr. Bass, production man, extraordinaire, CEO of Chaos TV.
No.
The list goes on. And he's just told us that the Mace TV and Azalum, were they playing Azalum? I don't know if I've said that right. Oh, it's Asylum spelt with a Z, fair enough. That game that we did have penciled into cast obviously is about to start, and because we have already followed the first game of this, it would make sense to continue on with this matchup. So we will probably be missing that one, guys, as obviously there is a clash of scheduling there. Again, very much disappointing, but what can you do? That is League of Legends for you, delays all over the place.
It's great, you know what I mean? Missing a whole game because of remakes on a game that shouldn't even happen. Great. It just kind of, I don't know, it angers me to the point where I want to throw myself out the window and then do it again. Wait.
Impressive. It kind of angers me to the point of the Claw from Inspector Gadget.
Oh my god.
He was quite an angry dude. With
Yeah,
his
but
whole,
if you were in the Rugrats, I could throw nappies at you. Mm-hmm.
I'll get her next time, Gadget. Oh god. That actually kills my voice, but it's worth doing just for the fact that Inspector Gadget was the best cartoon ever. It hurts too much.
That's what she's.
But guys, good news, back in Champion Select again. The reason we're here is League of Legends, and finally we're actually going to be able to cast on League of Legends. How refreshing that is. So yes, if you have just joined us, you're very fortunate that you've missed about, I don't know, 13 game remake so far. But the two teams in question are going to be on the left-hand side on the blue team, Binary Evasion or BEV, and on the right team, purple, is going to be SKL8. And the two teams are going to be Alistair, Udia, Vayne, Galio, and Wukong facing off against Vayne. Vayne? No, Victor. No, it isn't Victor, it's Vladimir. I'm just going to go and hang myself now. But yeah, Vladimir, Urgot, Shyvana, Tarek, and Ziggs. I always get mixed up with Victor and Vladimir for some reason. I don't even know why. I guess they're both kind of like Russian names.
Vince! Racist!
That's not racist.
Racist!
They are similar names, to be fair. Even though the two characters look nothing like each other and have none of the same abilities, it's still quite confusing to me. But we are going to have a delay, guys, Enzi. Is there anything that you'd like to add, analytical-wise? Which of these two teams do you think are going to come out and pop here? You did mention before you don't know, well, not that you don't know much about Urgot, but you haven't seen them being played too often. Now, do you think that Urgot is feasibly going to get the upper hand on Vayne, or do you think Vayne is going to be a bit too strong?
I think it's going to be hard because I haven't really seen Urgot against Vayne. I'm just going to throw it out there, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I just don't know. I actually don't know. I just haven't seen them enough, you know, fighting each other to kind of make a decision on that. So I guess after this game, I'll get a decision.
Both of them have good supports, because obviously if Tarek stuns one of the bot lane, then that will allow Urgot to very easily land his Noxian Corrosive Charge. Now, Noxian Corrosive Charge is an AoE damaging spell, does damage over time, but additionally to that, it allows Urgot's Acid Hunter to lock onto the enemy target. So if Tarek stuns them down, Urgot uses his Noxian Corrosive Charge, they're going to do so much damage, and I can actually see that combo rinsing and repeating quite a few times with some easy kills, NZ, but we're going to give ourselves a quick commercial break here to go and get a drink and such. You should do the same thing. You should rejoin us very shortly, guys, for the second game here between a BEV, or a Binary Evasion, against SKL8. The first game was run by Binary Evasion, so SKL8 have to come back here, guys, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this. Hello guys, welcome back to KSV. Hope you made use of that break, because we should have some more mouth-watering action as NZ is derping along like a madman. And Bass, we're live now, and then NZ just starts laughing. It's awesome.
I've had too much cakes, dude.
Fair enough. Too much energy. But actually, we could see an early team fight coming along here, because Urgot is kind of in no man's land. He's starting to get some support now from the likes of Tarek and Shyvana, but for a few seconds there, he was quite vulnerable. I thought if Galio and Alistair actually pushed forward, and they have Alistair in the epic skin. Is that the Matador skin? Yeah, I think it is. Looks awesome.
You're so sad.
Yeah, what can you do?
You know all the prizes of the champions off by heart.
Dude, I played this game beta. I should know all the champions off by heart.
You don't know Xinhao.
Xinhao? Is that a new character?
Xinhao! I swear that's how you say it.
Xin Zhao, I think. I don't know, actually.
Yeah, Xin Zhao.
You could be right. I don't know. But it could be team fight here is that... Actually, Udi has been caught out in that bush, but he's going to be able to escape. Has been hit by a Ziggs bouncing bomb, but he has bear form, so of course, if all else failed, he could have popped that again, given him that speed bonus, and he would have escaped either way, to be completely honest with you. So, like the previous game that we saw, NZ, no early, huge, epic team battles coming out, and this will definitely set the pace for the first 20 or so minutes, I think. I think this is going to be fairly... copied from that last game we saw, NZ, with a lot of kind of slow play to start with. The junglers kind of trying to peek their way in and trying to poke the opposition, but not really committing to anything. Because obviously you have a Shyvana who really only becomes extremely, ganky, and around the level 6 mark. Obviously with Burnout she's very fast, but she doesn't have any CC, so to speak. And I think it's really going to be on Udyr to try and set those ganks up, because Udyr with that bear form is a real threat in those jungles.
Yeah, they definitely have to take advantage of the early game. I think that's Bev, right, with the Alistair on, or yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Sorry.
Yes. Yep.
So yeah, they definitely have to take advantage of the early game. Same with bot lane as well. They just need to take full advantage of that, and obviously with the Udyr ganks coming in, that could happen. But it's just going to be the same as last game. I mean, SKL8 had to make use of the early game. They didn't, and Bev has to do that right now before Shyvana can, get them really good ganks in.
Well, in my opinion, the Caitlyn's to Graves, it's only going to really work out for you if that's kind of starting 10 to 15 minutes goes very much in the favour of Caitlyn. Late game, as we saw, Graves, in my opinion, for what that's worth, is just a much better AD carry all around in team fights wise, in kind of just pure damage output wise, and especially when you get a Graves that gets fed quite early on as well, gets first blood, gets the first 2 or 3 kills, then it's a real trouble for the opposition, and that's what we saw last game here. As we said before, it's going to be Galio against Ziggs in mid. I don't see Galio having too much problems. I mean, Ziggs is landing all of his bouncing bombs on top of Galio's face, but the downside of that, of course, is Galio is very much an incredibly strong counter, actually, Andy, to pretty much every single AP carry in mid. He just is one of those real problems for the mid AP carry, such as Ziggs, such as an Ari, such as an Annie kind of character.
Yeah, the only thing is that his mana's very bad. I mean, going up against the Ziggs has more range, obviously, with the bouncing balls, and he might have to use his abilities depending on how he pushes that lane. Obviously, he is basically a melee champion and less than abilities, so basically he's going to have to use some abilities if Ziggs just kind of zones him out, but it completely depends on how Galio pushes the lane, and at the moment he's doing a good job of it. It's not making him lose too much mana, and until Chalice, he can't really spam it all that often and try and harass Ziggs as much as he needs minion farm.
Indeed, there could actually be a gang top lane here because you're going to have Shyvana just camping in that bush. In fact, Wukong's going to run straight into. He has been exhausted. He does have that decoy. Uses the decoy to try and escape here. And if it hadn't have been for the decoy, he definitely would have been the recipient of first blood there because exhaust went down onto him. He was 2 versus 1, and that is the big game changer for Wukong, trying to alleviate the pressure from the gang because the decoy will save his life time and time again. So that was a burnt exhaust there from that top lane. Let's have a look at our bot lane. How is Urgot faring against Vayne? So far so good for him. He has picked himself up 15 creep score against Vayne's 20, so he is close. He is very much in contention still there in the bot lane. But of course it's early days. We could see some action between the two junglers here. Udyr has actually went in and counter jungled. Shyvana picks up the big Wraith, which of course is going to weaken Shyvana's XP on top of the gold output as well. And look, Udyr maybe setting up the gank for bot lane, or is he going to just go and take his own race? Perhaps going to try and farm a bit more, try and get some items there before he starts the gank and really harass a lot. But again, Enzi, as I said before, very much a carbon copy of the last matchup. Both junglers trying to poke, both junglers trying to cause a bit of a kind of hindrance to the opposition, but no one has really gone all out apart from that gank at top against Wukong. Wukong using decoy to its complete fullest extent, managing to stave off that first blood attempt.
Yeah, I honestly don't know how it's going to go with First Blood. I mean, bot lane is pushed by Urgot and Taric, so Vayne and Alistair can't really get anything in unless Udyr comes down for a gank. I just think we're gonna have to wait until about level 6 for a kill.
I mean, Udyr definitely is going to be one of those characters that could definitely get first blood for his team, but the ward coverage in the tri-bush, and Urgot actually is going to put off some damage here with the Acid Hunter, but in fact Taric's been caught way out of position. Alistair will headbutt him into the wall and then pulverize him, and Vayne's going to pick up that first blood. So what was looking like a good Udyr gank quickly turned into a Taric death there, and he will be the recipient of first blood. Vayne of course picking it up, and that is a carbon copy from last game as well, where of course Vayne was playing Graves last time. He got himself first blood, and from there on in Graves was incredibly strong. And as you said before, Enzi, Vayne is definitely a hyper carry. She's one of those kind of characters that can do a lot of work. Top lane, as I'm waffling on, very nearly saw Wukong get dropped from Vladimir. He has literally no health whatsoever. Vladimir was thinking of trying to tower dive in there and trying to push the issue, but instead he's going to pull back. But yeah, again, first blood going to binary evasion. The question is though, can they manage to convert this into a second consecutive win and win in the first round playoffs of the Corsair Vengeance Cup?
Yeah, just bot lane is gonna be a pain if Alistair can land them headbutts into the wall, and then you've obviously got Condemn that can get followed up by Vayne, so there's basically a double stun
Oh,
on
it's
the
going
wall.
to be killed mid, sorry, NZ, as Udyr and Galio. Oh my god, Galio popped his ultimate, and you're going to see this in a couple of seconds, I'm sure. And
I'm watching it now.
after he popped his ulti, Udyr
Wow.
flashed in and bear stunned him. From there on in, it was an
Wow.
easy kill, so great work coming in from Udyr there. Sorry to talk over you, dude. Again, if you don't know, he's actually watching this stream. There's only 2 server slots, guys, so he's kind of delayed. That's why I jump in with the action so we don't miss any of it. But just huge play coming out from Udyr, and that's 2-0 already, NZ. So, you know, already the goal difference about 1k in favour of Binary Evasion, and Udyr has already got himself on the scoreboard. In fact, he's been involved with both kills. He's got 1 kill and 1 assist.
That was a great gank. I mean, you had the Galio out, but it looks like bot lane is going under. Oh, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. Did you actually catch that, or do you want me to say what happened?
I'll go for it. Say it. I didn't catch it.
Basically, Alistair just came out of the bush, headbutted Urgot against the wall. We did see it on stream, so that's
Oh,
good.
bot lane NZ, as you can, we're going to see a 4 versus 2 situation here, and Urgot's actually used his ultimate to switch over Vayne. Vayne could actually get the kill onto Urgot regardless, though. In fact, he will do so. I have no idea how Vayne managed to pick that one up. It was basically a 4 versus 1. Vayne will fall, but heroically, going out swinging there. And again, it's so unfortunate that as soon as he starts to talk, a huge team fight kicks off at bot lane. But that's going to be 3-1 regardless.
That focus, what the hell?
Top lane as well, my god.
Oh,
Every time you
stuff
talk,
this.
it's a curse. Because Vladimir's just been jumped on by both Udyr and Wukong. Wukong using Cyclone at top lane, knocks Vladimir into the air, and the Ignite was on him as well, so he's going to die regardless. It seems whenever NZ talks, he is cursing SKL8 out of this game. And I think
I
we're
quit.
all clear. This
I
is just
quit.
crazy.
I think there's a fight with Udyr and Shyvana. Oh, no, they just ran away.
Yeah, Udyr kind of poked and he saw Shyvana and thought, nah, it's not worth it, because Ziggs
Really?
could have came up.
I'm gonna quit, dude. This is just...
It's just kind of frenetic, it's fast-paced action, and definitely a change of pace from that first game where things are pretty much slow, pretty much stable up until the 20 or so minute mark, and then, you know, the Dragon fights came into the equation, Baron came into the equation, but this definitely looks like Binary Evasion are looking to take this game by the balls here and try and take it home earlier rather than later. They just want to get this game over and done with. Currently 4-1 up, about 2k gold up as well. No early towers have fallen. No early towers I think have even been that much damaged, to be entirely honest with you. Okay, mid tower, Galio has actually injured mid tower fairly hard, and Ziggs has picked up the blue, as has Galio. But the downside is Galio has about a third of his health remaining. Ziggs on full health will be looking to avenge that earlier death. And Udyr again is trying to push him. He could see a gank as Ziggs is overextending, trying to secure that kill. But here comes Udyr. He's going to land the bear form stun onto Ziggs. Ziggs has actually popped his flash to try and escape, and that could have saved his life. I'm not entirely sure if Udyr would have been enough of a threat to actually take him down there. But either way, Ziggs did just want to be safe, and he didn't want to be sorry there. So yeah, he has burnt that flash. Shyvana in the meantime is going to come down bot lane. Are they going to set up another gank here? As Shyvana has just spotted Alistair coming up. Alistair looking to put a ward down, I think, but he's going to get caught out from Shyvana. He has pulverized Shyvana up into the air, and here comes Urgot. They do have a ward down. Urgot is going to ultimate onto Alistair, but got pushed back. In the meantime, Alistair could go down here. He's level 6, he's popped his ultimate, but down he goes, and Ziggs' ultimate comes in either way. So I think Alistair would have been dropped from that ulti, even if Alistair had managed to escape for a couple more seconds. In the meantime, top lane is going to be Wukong onto Vladimir. Wukong will take down Vladimir, takes a Ignite in the process, but that final tick is not going to be enough to silence Wukong here. So 5-2 NZ, and potential Dragon up. But having said that, Udyr is lurking round. They have started Dragon here, Tarek pulling it out for his team. And it is going to be a 3 versus 2 with a lot of ward coverage down from both teams. Udyr is getting absolutely crushed from Ziggs, and looks like they're going to give up on the Dragon just for now as Vayne is starting to push up towards the top lane. Through the top of the river towards Dragon. So 5-2 NZ, and yeah, I mean, this game is looking to really just carry on the pace that we saw in the final of the last one.
Well, I'm just a bit scared when I start speaking something's going to happen, but I'm just going to speak anyway. But yeah, completely agree. I mean, last game was a pretty slow pace at the start, but it's just been all-out aggression right now from BEV. Getting them team fights in, and they're winning them, you know. You've got such useful things like the Alistair headbutt and pulverized combination, then the condemn from Vayne as well. You got the Galio as well, then the stuns coming in from Udyr, and you've got a knock up from Wukong. So a great team comp once again.
Absolutely. No, and the bot lane is looking strong here. Urgot's currently 1-1-1, 72 creep score to Vayne's 74 creep score, so very, very close on the CS. But of course Vayne has the 2-for-1, so she is a kill ahead. And she is looking push here. What does Vayne have currently in her backpack? Well, she has Berserker's Greaves, 2 Doran's Blades, and a Vampiric Scepter, so she obviously is going to have a fair amount of lifesteal there. And on the opposite side, Urgot has picked up the Ninja Tabi boots and 2 Doran's Blades to boot. So, you know, would have to say that Vayne is slightly ahead, just purely on the lifesteal basis, but there could be a gank coming off here as Shyvana has pulled in with the ultimate, but will actually ultimate away, as I think she just caught a glimpse of both Udyr and also the Galio coming through mid. This could actually be a steal onto blue, but Ziggs has spotted it in advance. Udyr has to be careful. There are 4 players coming towards him. They have just spotted those players. Look at Galio's damage though. Incredible stuff from him. And he's actually going to ultimate in here like a boss. It's a 3 versus 5. Look at that pure damage output from Galio. 2 players are going to go down here. Shyvana has also been dropped. Now Urgot's in all kinds of trouble as Udyr is going to flash on him with bear form. And I think Urgot is going to manage to escape, flashing away to his tower. But talk about a ballsy Galio, just ultimates in there. Alistair comes in with the pulverize, and there's absolutely nothing that SKL8 could have done in that situation. Nothing.
That's the power of Galio, folks. Just go in, run and gun, them in, do a load of damage, hit the Q, hit the E, speed up your teammates, boom, they're dead. And that was just a great setup from Galio. You know, you might have said, oh, that's a bit too aggressive like at the start, and then you think, oh wait, look at that damage, incredible stuff. And they, I believe they're probably going to get the Dragon out right now. Let's have a quick look at CS. I think Vayne on 82, got on 78, so Vayne winning just by a bit. Galio on 102, Ziggs on 95, so...
oh wow.
What's going
Galio, he basically can just tank Taric like a boss, and he could actually finish him off here. Taric has popped his ultimate. I thought for a second that Galio was going to go back for the Resolute Smite and land it onto Taric, but the amount of damage that Galio is doing right now is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, he only has the Chalice of Harmony and the Mercury Treads, but he's still putting up that kind of damage, as Shyvana is going to go and take the Wraiths of the opposition, so she is trying some harassment of her own. And she is going to take those Wraiths down with complete ease. At top lane, we haven't really mentioned this too much because so much action has been happening in that bot mid lane. We're going to have Wukong 1-0-1. He's got 90 creep score against Vladimir, who is on 0-2-0 with 78. So Wukong is definitely winning that top lane. That mid lane, I have to say, Galio is doing pretty decently. He's on 003, 102 creep score to Ziggs. He's on 112, 115 now. He's landed that bouncing bomb, but he's on 0-2-1. So definitely looking in the favour of binary evasion, and I think it's only a matter of time, Enzi, before we see kind of the Baron push here, because their characters are definitely strong enough to take that Baron down fairly comfortably.
Yeah, the damage coming from Galio right now, you know, it's just absolutely insane. He's gone back and got that blasting one now, so he's got that added ability power. Probably going to build that Abyssal Scepter, of course, because obviously does build damage off magic resist. And yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think a Baron setup is definitely in the works, but I think Shyvana's coming towards top.
Indeed, and they actually got a kill onto Wukong. I didn't want to interrupt you again, but it's going to be a double kill there at top lane, as it would appear that SKL8 are trying to pull themselves back in this one. So both Wukong and Urgot will go down with the help of Ziggs as well. And they have pulled it back to a 7-4. Goal difference is still about 2.7k in favour of BEV, or binary evasion, and Vladimir looking to try and take this top tower down. In fact, he can't because he has run out of creeps, but instead he is just going to get himself some farm. So it's going to leave mid lane in the form of Galio against Ziggs, looking definitely like Galio is bossing it here. He's got that blue buff, he has full mana and a lot of damage to boot there, and Ziggs with 0 mana pretty much is going to have to recall. Going to allow Galio to kind of just take these wraiths and continue to up his damage. He currently has a blasting wand, he has that Chalice of Harmony, which of course is such a crucial core item for Galio, and he has a Mercury as well, so pretty much anything that Ziggs does to Galio is just going to bounce right off him.
Yeah, absolutely. I just don't know what's happening. I mean, do you think SKL8 can bring this one back? Do you think they can bring this one back? Because Galio's damage right now is just insane. I mean, you got that ult, no one can really interrupt them, and I think bot lane.
Yeah, big fight coming at bottom. So Udia is going to take down Urgot. This could be a couple more kills in this one yet, though, as Tarek is going to go in with his ultimate. Galio is making his way down, so it is going to be a 2 versus 4, but 3 of the players from Binary Evasion on less than a third of health. And Udia is going to go back there. So yeah, just to answer your question, I do think SKL8 can come back into this one if Shyvana gets herself some nice feed and she starts to build the Wit's End, Frozen Mala, Atmars and Paler and such, makes herself very tanky and a real thorn in the side of the opposition. She could turn the game for a team here. Obviously Urgot as well does a lot of damage, but right now he is being outplayed from Vayne. Vayne's on 3 for 1, Urgot 1 for 2. He has picked up the Brutalizer though, so that is a very nice item for him. But yeah, to answer the question, I think that SKL8 can come back into this game, but it's obviously going to be quite a steep challenge as a top lane. Wukong is going to tower dive onto Vladimir and will get the kill. Now I'm going to see the two junglers coming together in the red buff of Binary Evasion. It's going to be Udia against Shyvana 1v1, but here comes Galio to take that equality and flush it down the toilet. He has managed to land an ability onto Shyvana, but Shyvana ultimating away. Here comes the Galio ultimate. Look at that damage, huge, and there will be the kill onto Shyvana. Tarek will manage to live to fight for another day as he runs back onto his tower. That tower's on very, very low health, so he doesn't want to stick around for too long, especially with a Galio putting out this kind of damage. And Galio should be taking his tower down any second now. In fact, the creeps could finish it off. Indeed, they will. And Wukong, in the meantime, is going to take down the top tower. So a massive influx of gold coming up for BEV. And I think Zig is going to get caught out here from Udia and Galio as well. Can he manage to escape? Here comes Tarek with the stun. But Ziggs eats a stun of his own. And I think this is going to be some death here. Actually onto Udia. Great ultimate coming out from Ziggs. Is going to completely cripple Udia into small pieces. And now Galio's on the back foot as he's got a 3v1 to contest with. I think he may be able to escape here if he can get that Righteous Gust away, but he has just been caught out from Tarek again, and I think he's going to go down here from Urgot. Can Urgot actually land his Acid Hunter? Galio is going to finally fall. It turned out being a 4 versus 1 there, as both you're going to have Shyvana coming into the equation as well. 10 for 6, NZ. But this is pretty much still anybody's game. I mean, yeah, there is a 5k differential in gold right now, but we're at the 20-minute mark, so that's not huge. And the team composition for SKL8 is still extremely good if they push together and focus the right characters.
Yeah, and I just saw an Urgot coming out there. I don't think anything's going to come of it though. Alistair will pop that out, we'll be able to get away. No problem whatsoever. Was against 4 players, so just went on the safe side, popping that armor. As Wukong does go towards top. Yeah, SKL8 can definitely come back into this game. I just saw the damage coming off from Ziggs' ulti. That's very dangerous as well. You know, we're just going to have to wait and see. I mean, Galio has just built that Abyssal Scepter, so even more damage is going to be coming out from him. But yeah, it's definitely still anyone's game. The blue is going to go on towards Urgot. Yeah, I can't really say any more. I mean, the gold difference is literally 500-600. So yeah, and I think a team fight maybe for Dragon is going to come about.
Yeah, Dragon's up, but there's wards from either team, so both teams have perfect vision on that. And Udia, for some reason, I just ran straight into both Shyvana and Tarek. He has been stunned, but he's going to be able to pull back with that turtle and bear form being used. But as I said before, the pink ward, sorry, is going to go down, so this is going to be able to take out the ward coverage from Binary Evasion, and now they have absolutely no vision on Dragon whatsoever. And this puts them in a very odd position. Another ward has gone down, though, and a nice ward at that. So they do now have vision once again. A small fight going off between Ziggs and Galio. Galio just eating all that damage, doesn't really care too much about it, but here comes the cavalry as Vayne, Alistair, Udia and Wukong all jumping in. Watch out for that Cyclone from Wukong, could be coming any second now. There we go, it's just spinning around like a madman, and he has knocked 2 players up. Shyvana's been caught out, and here's a Galio ultimate going to pop off. Huge damage, that Abyssal Scepter really coming to use for his team, and that's going to be a 2 for 3. A 2 for 2, sorry, but Wukong could go down any second now. Alistair's also on very low health, so somehow SKL8 have actually turned this battle on its head. Alistair on no health, Wukong on no health, and Vayne on less than half health. Tarek is going to chase after Wukong. I don't think they're going to fall for the decoy, but Wukong does manage to jump away with his Nimbus Strike onto the minions and will escape. Alistair in the meantime will recall, so somehow only 4 players fell in that team fight, Enzi, but that was huge. I really thought that could be a team ace for one of these, especially when Wukong popped his ultimate and knocked 2 or 3 players in the air.
Yeah, definitely, and that just, you know, proves a point that it's still anyone's game, you know, just coming out just so close right there. It could have been an ace, wasn't. But I think that was a 1-for-1 exchange. I think Urgot went down for Galio, if I'm not mistaken, so that is Galio's second death of the game. He has got 5 assists though, has definitely been a part of most of the plays with the ultimate, and What's he gonna build? He's got some magic resist there, so he could be building anything. Probably maybe a Banshee's coming out. Great item on Galio indeed, as the Dragon will come out for Escalate. So they are going to catch up with the gold differential. They're still 5 or 4k behind there.
Yeah, they are currently residing at 5k on the dot behind, but they did pick up that dragon, which is obviously going to help them out. And it was a 2-for-2 exchange, Enzi, so actually it wasn't too bad for either team. I mean, there was definitely for a few seconds I thought that was going to be an absolute whitewash for one of the teams. It wasn't to be. And it's kind of just gone back to that stalemate kind of period. Obviously 5k difference isn't huge, and while Baron is still up, Baron is definitely a game changer. You'll often see a lot of teams battling it out for Baron, and in my opinion, and that's what happened last game, and I think that's going to happen again in this game, Enzi. I can definitely see this one going down to a huge, colossal Baron fight, 5v5 fight right underneath Baron's nose here.
Yeah, well, it's end lading phase right now. People are just getting some extra farm, getting their buffs, and I think they're going to prepare for a Baron fight. I mean, they're not too far behind, they're not too far ahead. Both teams can easily, beat each other. It just comes down to who makes the biggest mistake at the end of the day, and that's going to determine the winner. But there is actually no vision on Baron, I believe. So even if one of these teams go towards Baron, I don't think the other team are going to know.
And you see, this is the downsides about building a Galio and not having another AP carry on your team. You can see right now that there are 2 Ninja Tabi boots being built, in fact 3 being built here from Escalate, and that's purely on the basis that Galio is the only AP character right now on a binary evasion team. Now what that means is obviously with Ninja Tabi boots you do block 10% of non-turret basic attacks, so you do manage to actually alleviate some of that pressure. And when all the AD kind of damages come in from the opposition, I mean, you've got Udyr who's AD damage, you've got Wukong, and you've got obviously Vayne as well. And I thought for a second Urgot was going to get caught out there, but not to be. But yeah, I mean, building those Ninja Tabi boots definitely important. Galio is doing a lot of damage, but the thing is, if Galio pops his ultimate, really after that, he can only really spam his abilities, and they do have quite a large cooldown. So definitely Ninja Tabi boots are looking good right now, especially if you build them with the likes of health on top of that. And I can definitely see the longer this game goes on for, I think Team Escalate are going to start to catch up little by little. I think late game will definitely be in their favour. Vladimir has not had a good game so far. If he starts to get fed, if he starts to get a lot of farm, then he's going to be putting out so much damage and really going to be a nuisance with that Sanguine pool as well, along with the fact that his ultimate Hemo Plague does incredible damage. And if this goes to late game, Enzi, I actually can see Escalate taking this game. If it does, though.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said about Galio. He's very useful for the armor, very useful ult, but then after that he kind of relies on his teammates, and the Ninja Tabi's coming out is probably going to deny a lot of that. So I can definitely see what Escalate are trying to do here. Very smart indeed, so it can still definitely go their way. It just all depends on this, and I think they're going towards Baron, are they not? Or going for a jungle invade at least? And I think Alistair just ran straight past the ward with an Oracle.
They are kind of setting up for a Baron here, or a binary evasion. I think they realise that the late game is going to not look too good for them, so they want to try and close this one out. Perhaps that's the reason they were so frenetic and so frantic at the start. I realise I said before that the Ninja Tabi boots block 10%. That's not right. They reduce 10%. So I got my words mixed up there. But these are still incredibly good items against a heavy AD-based team. And it's now going to seem that we're going to see a binary evasion coming round the side, maybe going to try and take the fight from behind, but there is a ward in that bush, and Alistair, of course, that Oracle knows exactly what the deal is, so they're going to probably abort this kind of idea and pull back towards the stationary mid position. But they were definitely setting up for some kind of back attack there, but the ward definitely came to the rescue of Escalate.
Vince, can you carry on? My stream is actually just froze.
No problems, indeed I will. And it's probably a good thing that I will keep talking, because I think there could be a team fight any second now, literally any second now. As have CV coming down and the entirety of binary evasion moving towards Baron. They're checking for those wards, they haven't found any. This could be the time they go for a Baron, or will they set up a trap? It's also incredibly viable. They will just stand there and wait for the opposition to come to them, as the ultimates are going to come in with 2 flashes, in fact, from Galio and Alistair. Huge play coming out. That's going to be dead Tarek very, very shortly. Tarek's gone down from Udyr, and just a huge ultimate coming in from Vladimir, who will shut down Alistair. Udyr back onto Shyvana, Vladimir back onto Vayne. So that is a 3-for-3 exchange, as Galio will come in. Urgot gets another kill. And wow. Just huge fights coming in here. Wukong's going to pick up the kill onto Vladimir, and now Urgot's going to try and scamper away. He is the last remaining player on his team, but he has more health than both Wukong and also Udyr, so he could maybe pick something up. He has missed that Noxian Corrosive Charge. He's going to have to burn his flash. That was a bit of a failure from him. Will they try the tower dive onto Urgot? Maybe, because he has just used his ultimate to switch with Udyr. This could be a kill onto Udyr. Great play from him. He managed to get it. Indeed, he will. Can he get the second kill as well onto Wukong? He has got a ward down there, so he knows where Wukong is right now, in that bush. And again, he's missed the Noxian Corrosive Charge. And had he have landed that, Wukong would have definitely died. But the CV is going to come down. They know exactly where Wukong is headed. Decoy, however, is off cooldown, and you would expect to see some heavy juking in effect here from Wukong, but he has been caught with a Noxian Corrosive Charge. The Acid Hunter coming in and will finish off Wukong. I don't know why he was trying to recall in the Tribush. That made no sense whatsoever, and I think his hubris was definitely his downfall there. So 16-13 is going to be the scoreline, and really SKL8 do come back in a big way, but I'm not entirely sure why Wukong and Udyr decided to stay around for that long. They won the team fight pretty comfortably. Surely just recalling, or at least getting out of dodge, was the more intelligent thing to do, rather than giving away two completely needless deaths.
I just think that was beautifully played by Urgot. I mean, he was very, very patient, landed a nice ultimate to do a lot of damage to Udyr. Udyr did put that shield up, but it wasn't enough. Urgot landed the kill, but I don't know what Wukong was doing. I mean, he tried to recall in a Tribush. They knew where he was heading. The CV went down, but yeah, he still tried it. So, just stupid play that can really cost you a game, you know, that can really throw you a game. Just little plays like that can just cause devastation, and for that I think BEV has lost about 2 kills now. There's 3 kills in it, 4k gold differential, Dragon's now up. We could see a fight, but it looks like one team go for Dragon, the other team for Baron.
I must commend the two dual flashes there from both Alistair and Galio, just setting up that team fight to perfection. There was a potential team fight on the cards as Udyr and Vayne both kind of got caught out, but they are going to manage to survive and pull back, and now Baron is definitely available for whichever team wants to push this one up. We are nearly 30 minutes through this matchup. Baron definitely looks to be the focal point of this game. Both teams don't really want to commit to this fully because they realise the importance of this next team fight. This next 5v5 fight is definitely going to set up the remainder of this game, you have to feel. Will BEV go for the cheeky Baron while SKL8 is still lurking around mid? Probably not. It's a bit too dangerous. It only takes 3 or 4 seconds to get to Baron from mid, and of course it takes much longer than that to actually take down Baron itself. Oh, Wukong has been caught again, but that decoy coming to his rescue. This is really tense then, because they have been kind of lurking around this Baron for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and no one has really just gone out and out for Baron yet, so they're just kind of tiptoeing around him right now.
I just think at the moment it's just a matter of poking. I mean, both teams are poking each other. They're very hesitant. They don't want to make a mistake, and that normally leads to someone making a mistake, and then it's an absolutely tragic mistake that loses them the game. So I think it's just a matter of time. I don't want to speak too long because, I mean, look how tense this is. They're both in mid. They're both battling now, poking each other, and I just know there's going to be a move made soon.
Oh, see, this is Dragon is kind of a red herring. This is where Dragon can actually be your downfall, because Shyvana has now kind of decided to split up from the pack and go and take Dragon. Fair enough, she has got it, so never mind me talking. For a second there, I thought that maybe BEV were going to go really balls to the wall aggression through mid and try and pick up both Urgot and Tarek, who were on their own for a little while. You can see Vladimir at top lane going to try and get that farm. Ziggs went round the back of the jungle to pick up the wolves, and for a second there, that was a 5 versus 2, 5 versus 3 in mid. But Binary Evasion didn't quite catch on to that one, didn't quite make the most of it. But either way, Vladimir has been spotted at top. They're now going to move in. Galio has ultimate, but only lands it onto Ziggs. But Ziggs should go down regardless. Indeed, he will do so. Shyvana's jumped in as well. Ultimate comes out for Wukong, spinning around once again. The spinning monkey just absolutely decimating faces. And that's going to be 2 kills now down for SKL8. And Binary Evasion looking very good again. Vayne's damage is absolutely insane. She's actually going to keep chasing after Vladimir. Vladimir Sanguine pulls away. Tarek comes in with a stun on the tower and pretty much saves Vladimir from an almost certain death there. But that was absolutely no losses whatsoever for Binary Evasion. The kind of logical step now is to take that Baron NZ, while you know, SKL8 are 2 players down. They will be 2 players down for the next 17 or so seconds. So this is more than enough time. This is ample opportunity for BEV to pick up Baron. That's exactly what they're going to do. Tarek is lurking around there though, but he can't do anything on his own. He's going to need some more help. He has put down the CV. Is he going to try a Baron steal here? He has tried it, but he's not going to land it. That would have been the most ridiculous Baron steal ever if Tarek flashed and stunned and dazzled Baron out there, but it's not to be. Instead he just gave away a free kill, but it was important to at least try. That's how important Baron is here, not just for the gold, but also the huge buff, NZ. And now at 19-13, in favour to Binary Evasion, they're ahead on gold, they have a Baron buff. Can you see SKL8 coming back into this game?
Now that the Baron's on them, I think it's just going to snowball now. I mean, that allows them, just like I said last game, take them turrets down one by one, get the inhibitors as well. And I just think, I don't know, SKL8 might be able to get back into this, but it's not going to be easy. I mean, they've got Baron buff against them now, and they're going to have to turtle out. The farm isn't going to be great. They might lose a few buffs. So I think BEV is just going to take it a bit slow at the start, and then they're going to go full force and just go for that fight.
I mean, you know, we haven't mentioned this yet, but one big factor into the kind of control on Baron is the fact that currently Binary Evasion have 3 towers that they've downed, and SKL8 haven't taken down a single tower. Now, what that means is if you have the first tier towers down, you can't really be as ballsy and as aggressive because you don't have anything to fall back on. Now, the fact that Binary Evasion have their mid tower still standing and top tower as such, it gives them much more leverage on that Baron buff, and I think that's one of the reasons why you kind of saw SKL8 getting caught out there in the jungles, because, you know, Binary Evasion could afford to push out that far. As soon as they got Ziggs down quickly, that was a huge amount of damage completely out of the equation, and from there on in it was pretty simple for them. And now, as you said, I mean, with Baron you have such pushing power, and you have such strength in numbers, that you're more than likely just going to see Binary Evasion pushing this top, pushing this bottom lane, going into the opposition jungles, taking all their wraiths, taking all the wolves, taking everything from them, and just weakening them even further. You can see this gold difference is starting to creep up towards 6k, and that tower is going to go down. So it is now 6.4k, NZ, and the gold difference is starting to get a bit out of control here for SKL8.
Yeah, it might be a little gold advantage considering it's only 6k, but that little thing just makes the difference. I mean, now BEV has got that Baron, they're pushing that bottom turret down, they're probably going to go straight towards mid, then they're going to go to top, they're just going to do a kind of cycle, because, you know, SKL8 has to then stay around, push that lane back, and it allows BEV, and I think there's going to be a team fight here, maybe?
Yeah, they were kind of setting up for one, but it's kind of subsided as a lot of these team fights have been aborted at the last second from one of the teams. And there you saw Binary Evasion just realizing, hey, there's no reason for us to be too aggressive. Sure, we have Baron, that's no reason to go kamikaze mode and just run straight in at the opposition. So they're playing it safe still. They know in team fights 5v5 they completely have the upper hand right now. They're more farmed, they have Baron buff, they're higher levels, they're just looking good. They're ahead on towers as well. Urgot has built that Guardian's Angel because of purely the fact that his ultimate, I'll read this out for you, it's incredible, hyperkinetic position reverser. I wouldn't want to say that 3 times in a row quickly, but because of his ultimate he does put himself in harm's way. So obviously Guardian's Angel built for that purpose alone to keep him up again, and Frozen Heart as well. Is going to give him quite a lot of tank ability. The only downside of this is that he is definitely sacrificing on attack damage. He is going to actually ultimate Galio into his whole team. I'm not sure about this play. Galio's going to pop his ultimate and will do huge damage. They do claim a big scalp there, and that's going to be Galio without that Baron buff. They do sacrifice a tower for that and an ultimate, and that was actually the right play. For a second I thought, wait, you're going to switch Galio into your team with an ultimate? That kind of spells doom. But of course I didn't realise that the entirety of Galio's team was at top lane and couldn't have helped him out there. So now you're going to see the hunters become the hunted, as SKL8 are going to be chasing after this Wukong. Wukong does have decoy up though and a tower to fall back on. As I said before, this is one of the great things about being so far ahead on towers, is you can pull back to the safe haven of the towers. That's exactly what Wukong just did. And now you're going to see, did I just see Alistair flash there for no apparent reason at top lane? What the hell was that?
I have the lay, I'll tell you in a sec.
He just randomly flashed. Just
that was
for no apparent
Wukong.
Reason. Was it Wukong?
Yeah.
Okay, that was weird. I was looking at more like
yeah,
mid.
he just randomly, he obviously felt very kind of, I don't know, frightened. And he just randomly flashed.
Wukong flashed away because Tarek stunned him, but I swear I saw Alistair flash on the tower for no reason after SKL8 had pulled back.
Oh.
It was
I
really
didn't see that.
strange. Maybe he just misclicked. I don't know. Maybe he just pressed the wrong button.
Yeah, he's got flash on cooldown, so yeah, he definitely
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, weird. Very weird. It is possible, of course, guys, in pressure situations, people do things they wouldn't normally do, and Alistair's currently on the winning team, so you can't really fault them too much. But Dragon is back up again. 19-14 is the score. If you didn't catch us for the first game, guys, Binary Invasion actually won that one, so they're currently ahead in this game, and they're 1-0 up. This is a best of 3, so SKL8 have to win this game to stay in this matchup, or they will be out the Corsair Vengeance Cup. Looks like it's going to be an absolutely simple Dragon there for BEV. And as I was saying before, Enzi, I mean, the fact that Urgot has gone for a more tanky approach has put him behind quite a bit on AD. Look at Vayne's AD compared to Urgot's. Let me have a click onto Urgot and tell you what he's got. He's currently got 152 AD. He's got, so not great damage. Whereas you look at Vayne, 314. I mean, there is a huge discrepancy there.
Got going more tanky, as you can see with the Guardian's
Yeah.
Angel and Frozen Heart, which I don't understand. He's supposed to be the AD carry.
Absolutely. I know why he's doing it, because his ultimate puts him in harm's way, and obviously when you've got the likes of a Galio and you've just got this raw damage output from Udyr and Wukong, it makes sense that you build him tanky, but the downside of that is that you really are sacrificing a lot of that AD damage, and in team fights you can definitely see there's a huge difference between the raw damage output these two teams give. Vayne is just completely destroying everybody, and to be honest, Urgot hasn't really been a big part of this game other than his ultimates coming in. He's got 5 for 4, so he's not doing too bad, but Vayne's on 4 for 2, and there is a big creep score difference as well. Vayne's on 244 creep score, and Urgot's on 183. Urgot could get himself an ultimate onto Udyr there. I thought Udyr was linking around for a tiny bit too long, but not to be. And I guess it's a credit actually to SKL8 that they have managed to stave off this Baron push, because a lot of teams, once they get Baron, will literally just win the game. They'll just push right through the mid and end up taking it there and then. But SKL8 have managed to turtle in long enough to basically take Baron out of the equation here.
Yeah, indeed, and you kind of have to, just appreciate that now that BEV haven't got that buff. I think they're just kind of waiting around for Baron to just come up again. I mean, if I were them, I'd probably go for a fight very soon. They've got Alistair, they've got Galio, the ultimates are up. The only thing that isn't up is Alistair's flash, so it's very possible that they're either waiting for Baron or they're a bit too scared to engage right now. Obviously, both teams don't want to make a mistake, but it looks like maybe a jungle invade. They could meet up.
Indeed, looks like it will be a jungle invade, and there could be a huge team fight on the cards once again. Tarek, what are you doing? You're taking down a ward, you're in no man's land, you have no support. He has flashed onto Wukong and Galio as well. This is an absolute failure of positioning from Tarek. I don't know why he'd move away from his team. He's really left his team in a horrible position here. This could be game, set, and match. Shapan's going to try and ultimate away. As soon as Galio gets his ultimate down, it's going to be game over. Wukong has popped in with his Cyclone, knocks both Urgot and would have knocked Vladimir in the air as well. Vladimir lands a good Hemo play, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually finish this team fight off for his team, as Alistair's going to fall. Now Vladimir's going to fall as well. In fact, it wasn't Alistair, of course, it was Ziggs. And now Urgot is going to have to burn that Guardian's Angel. As soon as he comes up, he's going to get dropped again. No, there we go. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, 5 for 1 in the end. 5 for 2, in fact, as Udyr has just gone down from the last tick of Noxian Corrosive Charge. But I'm going to pin that all down on Tarek, Enzi. I don't know about you, but Tarek's positioning there was absolutely horrific.
He threw the game. It's Pro Shot GG all over again. He's literally just threw the game for his team. They had a chance of getting that one back. Tarek stupidly went out and tried to kill a ward instead of staying with his team. And you can't afford to just go out on your own like that, because it can just get you killed. There might be wars everywhere. I think he was a bit too content on going out with that Oracle, trying to get the walls down. And, they're paid for that. I don't think they're going to get the win now, but they're definitely going to be getting a Baron. So, I think it's pretty much game over.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely actually pushed themselves down the hill, The snowball's definitely in effect now. Tarek, as you said, I'm not entirely sure what he's trying to do. I mean, his heart's in the right place. He's trying to stop the ward coverage. Fair enough. He has an Oracle. Fair enough. Go and do that. But when the entire enemy team is missing and you're taking down a ward, you need to remember, they can see you if you're killing a ward. It's not like you're invisible or anything. So they knew exactly where Tarek was. Tarek had no idea where they were. And as soon as he got caught, he flashed through the wall, but he just flashed right onto Galio and Wukong, and from there on in, he was just absolutely dead meat. And of course, 4 versus 5, the rest of his team tried to kind of half come and help him, and by doing that, they all sacrificed themselves as well. So Tarek, completely innocently, but he really just threw a spanner in the works for his own team. Just huge failure there. And I think it's going to be a Baron here from from Binary Evasion. The only way I think SKL8 can pull themselves back in this game is if they engage a 5v5 fight and take down Baron and push back themselves. It's still doable. They're not completely down and out here, but they've just definitely shot themselves in the foot in that last team fight.
Yeah, now it's a 8 kill differential and about a 10k gold advantage. And did they just get Baron, or are they just gonna wait?
Basically, Alistair went on with an Oracle and cleared the wards for his team. So Baron is definitely up for grabs here. It's definitely an option, and I think they're going to go for the Baron right now. Alistair's going to check for a ward. He has just taken the ward down, and now they're going to go for that Baron. Now, you can see SKL8 are moving into position. Udia is going to fire off the Noxian charge. They know exactly what is going on here. Baron's on low health. Ultimate comes in from Ziggs, and they're actually going to steal the Baron there. Huge play from Ziggs coming in, but Vayne is going to go straight back onto Tarek. Huge team fight coming off here. There's Galio's going to pop his ultimate, completely crippling 2 players. They're going to go down without any fight whatsoever. And now you're going to see Vladimir getting dropped as well. So even though Ziggs pulled off one hell of a Baron steal, his team still got absolutely decimated. But in fact, Ziggs and Urgot, are both on full health. And if you look at the opposition, I mean, Alistair's on no health, Vayne's on very little health, Galio's under half health, and so is Udia. So 4v2, but they definitely have the health advantage right now. But again, I'm just going to say, Andy, that was an epic Baron steal. I think that's the 3rd or 4th Baron steal we've seen so far in CBC. I remember one in particular from Alistair, which was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember the one from Skarner. I think we casted a couple of nights ago. I just love Baron steals because they're just, you know, it's just down to luck at the end of the day. It's a bit like solo queue, which I'm not going to get into because you'll hear me raging for about a year. But it's just down to luck, and you can get some amazing Baron steals. You know, we saw Skarner, you've seen the Alistair one as well, which is on the YouTube, and it's just great to see, but they didn't capitalize on that, you know. They kind of just went all in right there. Probably the wrong thing to do, but we're just going to have to see what happens. It's only Urgot and Ziggs, I think, now with Baron, right?
Yes, their team died in that team fight. We're actually going to see some action kicking off here. We missed quite a bit of that. But it didn't really matter because no one actually fell. Oh my god, Ziggs nearly taking down Vayne. That would have been incredible. That would have been like frag movie material right there from Ziggs, nearly scoping off against Vayne halfway across the map onto Wraiths. And that would have been truly special. He actually hit her, but she didn't quite go down. But that was incredibly close. But I mean, as we're talking, NZ, you have to say Binary Evasion have taken down 2 inhibs. Now, if you don't know much about League of Legends, taking down an inhib will give you super minions. And super minions are basically, well, the clues in the title, you can see them there in the middle, just massive minions with like 2 huge clubs on their hands, which do huge damage to both enemy minions, enemy champions, and of course buildings as well. So they're really good. They have 2 sets of them coming across, and that's going to give them definitely the upper hand here. And again, you have a look at the amount of turrets that the SKL8 have taken down, and it's absolutely zero, NC. There is a huge differential on turrets right now. Massive.
Yeah, indeed. Sorry, my stream's lagging a bit. You might have to take this one away. It keeps
No worries.
like jumping frames. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
no
if that's
worries.
just me though.
Yeah, to be completely honest, I mean, I think this is over. You know, it's not necessarily a huge call to say that. I mean, you know, massive turret difference, the gold difference is nearly 10k now, 27 to 17. It's not looking too good, and there's some odd builds coming out, to say the least. I mean, Tarek's build is it's kind of got me scratching my head a bit, but as I'm talking some action here onto Vayne, but Urgot, has kind of innocently put himself in harm's way, but he is going to pull back to that tower now. This is the last remaining inhib tower they have, so they really need to defend this. It's on about half health, and I think that either SKL8 are going to defend this tower or they're going to die trying. They cannot afford to lose 3 inhibs. Anyone that plays League will tell you when you've lost all 3 inhibs, that it's looking really dire. It's looking precarious at best. So they're going to try and defend this tower with their lives. But would it be that actually Binary Evasion are completely run out of minions, so they're going to have to wait for this minion push that's just currently on its way, lurking ever so slowly up. And it's going to give both teams a chance to take a bit of a breather. Every ward that comes on is instantly being countered. Of course, Alistair still has that Oracle. And I think we're going to see a team fight now. Any second now. Is Wukong going to jump in? Yes, he is. Going to use that Cyclone. He's knocked both Ziggs up. And here comes the ultimate from Galio. Great work coming in from BEV. The ultimates just landing on top of each other. As Shyvana has jumped in with her ulti, she's going to fall as well. Vayne could go down here. Vayne should go down. She will go down. but Vladimir also gets dropped in the process. Now Tarek's going to try and be a boss underneath that tower. He is actually taking a heavy punishing, but he is going to go down regardless due to Wukong, who used decoy as well. I actually think Tarek was beating on the decoy for a while. And that is going to be the third inhib down. In fact, it's only two because the mid one has just respawned. That's one of the Nexus towers down. Unless Urgot can stave off this 1 versus 4 on Nexus, I don't see this happening. I think this is going to be the GG, and there goes the Nexus. It has gone down, so that will be 2-0 win for Binary Evasion. And I have to say, NZ, both games I've been very impressed with the AD carry from BEV. Well, first game was Graves, did great. Second game with Vayne was doing so much damage, definitely the turning point in my opinion. But the team comp in game number 2 from BEV was just way too strong. That Galio was really, really good.
It's the same with, game number 1 as well. Just amazing team comp, just won them the game. And on top of that, brilliant play from both teams as well. SKL8 did put up quite a fight in the second map. I mean, they definitely had a chance to get themselves back into it, but that Tarek, that freed them the game. After that, it just snowballed, and they didn't have a chance in hell after that kill. So well played for BEV to just, taking advantage of them situations and just making it theirs.
Definitely. I think, we can rag on Tarek quite a bit for the positioning or the lack of positioning that he showed, but to be honest, I mean, the 30-35 minutes before that wasn't necessarily all his fault, so we can't pin the blame entirely on him, but that particular play from him was a bit of a catastrophe, to be entirely honest with you. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish other than taking down the wards, but in the meantime, he really put himself and his team at jeopardy, and they actually paid for it. They basically got aced after that easy Baron, so huge failure towards the end, but I definitely think that Binary Evasion deserved to win that one, NZ. Definitely deserved winners, and they'll go through to the playoff round number 2.
Indeed, they will. I think the other game has started, though, so I don't think we're doing that, right? Oh.
Right, Bass just informed us that we could catch the second game of the Maze TV and Asylum game that we originally thought that we were going to miss out on purely on the basis of how many delays we had, but it looks like that's still available to us. They should be finished in the next 10-15 minutes, guys, so we will be back then, I assume, Bass? Until then, why not go ahead and visit the Chaos TV's new website they have just put up. It's chaostv.nl. If you go down, scroll down to the prize draw section, you can actually win yourself a gaming laptop, completely free, and of course you could be walking home with, how much is it worth, Bass? Must be over 1,000 euros, I guess? He's just looking. It's about 1k euros then, so obviously you're getting something for nothing. Just go on the website chaostv.nl and you could be winning yourself an epic laptop for your viewing pleasure or your playing pleasure. Either way, NZ, we'll be back very shortly. I think we'll probably be taking a break, Bass, is that right? Indeed we will. Stay tuned, and we should have another matchup coming up very shortly. See you soon.